Welcome to the Ohio State Beekeepers Education Training Series.
Good evening, everybody, and all of those that are going to be watching this later on. We want to talk about everything for what treasurers are responsible for in an organization. We're going to do this a little bit different. We're going to go over the basic things from what the clubs or the affiliates have, and then some things you can take right off of our site and also use in any other organization. For what we have in your treasurer, and this goes for any different thing, the affiliate program, we have the affiliates for OSBA, and we have some additional items down here, the new club packet, the additional IRS language that must be in your bylaws or constitution with the Robert's Rules of Order. The affiliate renewal form, most everybody's got those in. Affiliate profit and loss statement. You can use this too for anything, and I have that already popped up. The power of attorney is just for that organization, that if you need it to turn on behalf of another person. So on behalf of William and I, William is the treasurer of OSBI, I'm the president, and we have it filled out just so we can find out the status of the affiliation. So we can ask. We don't need to know anything else. We just want to know if they're revoked, in good standing, or being reinstated. And then we have a Group 990, a permission slip. So what they've done in October of last year in 2024, anybody that's being represented by another organization, you must fill out a form. And we'll pop this up real quick just so everybody can see what it looks like. And what this has is the club, and this could be a bee club, a garden club, county beekeepers, it could be a garden club in there, the city, state, and address, to whom this may concern, we give permission to. This is just for us, Ohio State Beekeepers, adding us to their Group 990. So if you're having a parent organization and other affiliates underneath, this could be a motorcycle club, garden club, their group exemption is 6194, and then our parent company is our EIN. We will become a subordinate of that club name, their EIN number, full name of the EIN document was issued the EIN on the address, and this is the person who originally pulled the EIN for your club. And we're going to talk a lot about that on these other things with the Secretary of State and the Ohio Attorney General, to how to find that information out or how to file it. I am the current club president, club treasurer of whatever organization, the officer title, full name, address, city, state, and zip, and then we fax that to the exempt organization entity unit at the IRS. And then you have to have a permission. You just can't take organizations and link them together anymore, because they've had a lot of that in the background. Having an EIN number and everything else is part of that also, and it has to be in good standing. So just some of the job duties on this. As a treasurer, the bank account for an EIN for a nonprofit must have at least 2 officers on that account. President and the treasurer on the account. Drivers, you must take your driver's license and social security numbers. If it is a club that you're replacing, so this is a club that you just got into and you're going to run be the treasurer, you have to go with at least a letter, and we'll talk about that a little bit down here, the changing of the treasurer. You have to have that posted in a newsletter or secretarial minutes. You just can't say, oh, we're the new president or we're the new treasurer or a new officer, and we're going to be on the account. They will not accept that anymore as of that October of last year. You must have clean and accurate records. That's either through QuickBooks. Most clubs are small. You can do this with Excel. And this is part of, and I'll just pop this up real quick. The Excel on this is just basic and easy. And this is the template that we have for OSBA. But some of these categories is what I want you to think about. The beginning of the year cash balance. The income dues, beekeeper classes, conference, county fairs, membership letters, sales members, sales of t-shirts, and other income. And that must all be put together so you know, and when we file it as a parent company, what that income of that club was. If you had any donations over $600, you must send that organization or that donor your EIN number and a thank you letter, just so they can take it to their bookkeeper or their person to file their taxes and say, yes, I made a donation to a 501c3 and I want to take it off my taxes. Expenses, the same way. Think about all the things that money is going back out. For a bee club, it's going to be the resale to members, beginning beekeeper class, t-shirts, the county fair if there was fees. The meeting room and rental fees, newsletter expenses. This is also consumables, papers, pens, pencils, badges, stickers, things like that. Affiliate costs for us, that would be a cost, printing and copying. Speaker fees, anytime you have a speaker fee, you do a stipend. You're to run and give them a donation to come to your club, or a Zoom stipend that they turn on and done a representation. The speaker fees, other expenses, and then you can change this the way you want. You just go in here, click on that column, add insert line, and then you can do this and just add your stuff in there. And then what you're going to try to do is do your budget for the next following year. That takes a 501c3. That meets the Robert's Rules of Order that you're not going to try to spend more than what's on here. And if you do, if there's something else on here that you need to spend money on, you're going to turn around and do a sponsorship for a ball field, or you're going to do something pollinator. You're going to plant seeds in a pollinator habitat. Anything other than that, you need to go back to the board as per Robert's Rules of Order and say, hey, yes, we want to spend this amount of money. It must be voted on, and then the board has to agree to it. So this is just a real simple sheet. You can take this right off the OSBA website, and this is an Excel. Almost every program, you don't have to have the Microsoft Excel. You can also do this through Google. So if you have a Gmail account, we'll just go through this real quick. I'll just pop mine up. If you have a Gmail account, which I do for myself, when I go in here, I can scroll down and it's called slides. Where is it at now? Sheets. So in Google, they call it Sheets. Same way with with Docs, it's the same thing as Word. So you could put this in your repository of your Google Drive for your club members and go to your Google Drive, and there's all your documents for your club. So for me, I have the Michigan, I have different things in here, the Brown Baggers Christmas concert. So that's things that I have. So the president can have that, or anybody else. A checkbook that's accurate in that I mean, if you're going to the next meeting and someone has expenditures, put that in the checkbook, but please keep it up to date and try to do that on a monthly basis or a weekly basis, depending on how often do you meet. Ledger's old school, but I still know a lot of people that do that. In Robert's Rules of Orders, those accurate records that can be reviewed by any member of the organization at any time. If you're adding things to it, you can turn on and say, I need a day, I need to run, or you can look at it, but I have to add these things to it, and it has to be available to the club members. Treasurer's reconciliation or end of year. At least 2 members, not the treasurer or president, 2 other members of the organization shall go through the account. That means your QuickBooks, if you have it, your checkbook, bank records, etc., with or without the treasurer. If you feel comfortable enough to sit with the treasurer, you can say, hey, what was this expenditure? Why was it in the checkbook? And you and the other person sign off at the end of that and agree that these are good and withstanding books by the next calendar year. So if you're going to do it in January, February. That way you can sign off. Whoever signs off on it can turn on do that. You can do an official, sign off on a piece of paper that those records are good and in good standing. Excuse me. If you're a changing of the treasurer, So I'm a treasurer this year, and then in November, December, I get elected, or I don't get elected, or I'm going to step down. Those minutes must be noted in the newsletter or secretarial report for the bank. So that new officer or that new treasurer can go to the bank, show those minutes, and the old officer is removed and the new officer information is given. Again, your license, your social security number. They'll probably ask you some security words of what was your first dog, what was your mother's maiden name, just for the fact that they are really tightening down over the last year and a half about people moving money in a 501c3 in these clubs that kind of constantly move officers or elected officials to move back and forth. Salutary agent update. And we'll talk about more about this when we talk about the Ohio Secretary of State. Try to find out in whatever organization you are, who is the person that pulled the original EIN. So down in the bottom, in just a few notes, and this is in no specific order, confirm that your EIN is actually a nonprofit 501c3. There's a lot of old clubs, and we've ran into a few of them, William and I, for OSBA, that are a not an EIN, but they never had any status with it. So if you're going to run and do this and you're trying to make donations, you're trying to get organizations to donate to you, or you're trying to do things, that 501c3 status means you're nonprofit. Nonprofit, there's going to be a lot of things that go with that. You can't say you're a Democrat or Republican. You cannot run and give money to any political party. And there's a lot of guidelines that have that. Also, some benefits to it. You can start purchasing items without sales tax. And just a note for a small business, confirm who your reporting agent is. And this could have been the original person that pulled the EIN, or it could have been switched somewhere down the line that the next person, maybe that the original person passed away, or they're no longer with the organization. And if needed, you can file a salutary agent update online, and we'll cover this with the 521 revised code. 1024 is when they really start hammering down. And to change that reporting agent is $25. And I'll show you this within the website that you can go in, change that online form. It costs you $25. Right at the end, you can do it per credit card and say that Carol's going to be the reporting agent now for OSBA or another organization. And as you change it, as long as Carol's within that club, if she's okay using her information, she can stay with that. And then when she steps down, this must be updated to the new salutary agent. And we'll cover that here in a second. All of your items for a treasurer must follow your bylaws. So if your bylaws say you need to report once a month, you need to run and do this. Most clubs, Robert's Rules of Order will say, we have a secretarial report, we have a treasurer's report. If there's anything that anybody has any issues with, you must follow the Robert's Rules of Order to take care of that. So no one's spending money, no one's pulling money, or no one can hide money at that point. And you're keeping it accurate, goes right back to the top again, clean and accurate records. For those organizations that want to pull a brand new EIN number, you can use the irs.gov website, complete the 501c3 filing, and then apply for an EIN. And we'll walk through those steps. The other thing you must do is file the initial articles of incorporation online under the Domestic Nonprofit Corporation Filing Form. It's Form 532B, and it's revised the same date in that October, and that's $99. So as you to run and update your reporting agent, it's $25. Or if you're the initial starting up this club, it's going to be that $99. For the affiliates for OSBA, we do that for you. We just pass on the fees to you, and we take it from there. So if you want to use that affiliate profit and loss statement, and you can customize it, use it the way you want, change the wording on the side. It's not locked down. It's shareable, so you can use it anytime you want. We're going to switch screens real quick here. When you go to, this is the first, well, let me go to this one. Excuse me. You're going to pull your first EIN number. This is you're going to go to the irs.gov. irs.gov, you're going to scroll down and you can put in apply for EIN. Please take the time and understand all this stuff step by step. Because if you miss a step, it is very hard to turn around and call them. It's going to take them 3 to 6 months to change it. And then you're just going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. Please take your time. Have everybody that's going to do this or your information ready to go when you apply. Business type and entity, third-party designee. So I could open up a EIN number for Northwest State or Northwest Beekeepers, which I did. So, but I'm the salutary reporting agent for that. So it's my responsibility to take care of that each time or turn that over to somebody else. So read all the information, please. When you apply, oh, great. It's currently unavailable. So when you apply, what it does, it goes screen for screen. Please go down through there. It's going to ask you what type of organization you have. Is this outreach? Is this education? Is it farming? Is it, and there's all kinds of buttons. Look down through every one of those and do your best fit. Don't just turn around and scroll down and go, yep, that's the category, because each category after that is going to have another category with a bunch of other selections. So it might not just be farm. It'll click down through and go farming education, farming for youth, farming for profit. So read each one of those. And when you do the 501c3, you're looking for education or outreach. And those are some of the things you're going to use. Charitable donations. So once I set this 501c3 up and apply for the EIN, it's going to ask you for a username and password. And this needs to go with that account when you report back to the club. So the president or another officer has it. So you can turn around and get into this, or if somebody's hit, the treasurer's hit by the bus, they can get back in here. If you already have the account, all I have to do, log in. This is my H&R Block one. I log in and then I can go in there and change things around as I need to. Maybe something changed within the organization. Maybe there's the treasurer. I can turn around and report that, and then I can go back in. Once you're set and you can see this, you can go in. If you already have a club or somewhere, you can look at the charitable registration filing. And then what you'll see, that'll pop open and give you this gigantic sheet, Excel sheet with 60 some odd thousand people. For OSBA, we are 56166 and 65167. Here's our EIN, Ohio State Beekeepers Inc. And you will be registered underneath here and make sure and give them about 3 months, because it takes a while for them to get you in the system and everything else. Confirm this information. It's in Franklin County where we have the PO box. It's forwarded from there all the way over, and it tells you if you're in good status. And here's where that 501c3, if you follow the OSBA, we are a 501c3. You'll notice some of these down here, other, and they have different, a lead trust. So if you're a 501c3 and you go down through here and go, oh, I'm an other, that means you cannot accept donations and to run and give that person your EIN number and let them take it off of their taxes. So this is updated once a month. In fact, I think it's William Riccio, our treasurer, said it's updated and he's going to check it on Tuesday. It has your date of formation, not required to file because we have the group. So all those clubs, they report to us. We collect that information and we file it for them. Required to file is for the parent company. And then it has your total revenue. When you file your 990, all this information is filled in. And then the number of board members, outside audit if you need it. So all that information, and this is publicized. I'm not going to say it's correct all the time, but they update it once a month. So this is just something to do. Keep accurate. Keep your EIN number. keep it on a file and print a hard copy out and have that in your treasurer report and give a copy of that to the president along with this username and password. So if something changes, you can get back in here and change it as you need to. And then anybody can go to the charitable ohioago.gov and you can look on and check if your organization has whatever status. It's easy and simple. On the IRS side, or excuse me, the Ohio Attorney or Ohio Secretary of State is ohiosos.gov. So once I form this and have an EIN from the IRS, I'm good to go on this side, but I must register with the state of Ohio. So I'm going to go down here to records. Once I click into records, I'm going to come down and I'm going to scroll down again. Please read everything. Was it a trust? If you're going to do a trust, name registrations, trademarks. If you read the first one, domestic, and I've had people do this, domestic for profit. That means your organization is selling something or your business is selling something and you're making profit. That also means sales tax and other items. You want to scroll down to the domestic nonprofit corporation filing forms. When you first do this, after you have your EIN, your initial is that file initial articles of incorporation at Ohio Business Central. And this is the $99. So if you're going to start up a new club, you file their $99 again by credit card. It's a 523B, and all of these were revised in October of 24. Down below is that salutary agent update. And this is a $25 fee. It's a 521 form revised October 2024. So if I was not a part of OSBA any longer and that EIN was in my name as president and I step down or I move on, that needs to be updated from somebody else or it's going to carry my information all the time. Then if you need it or if something happens, so if you get a donation, you get audited, you need to run and apply for something, they're going to go, who's the salutary agent? And you're not going to know. So again, like we talked about with the Ohio Attorney General and the IRS, when you pull this number, have that account information, have copies electronically and hard copy that you can go back and this person, the next responsible person coming up, can file this. If you ever find out that your EIN number was kicked out, if you didn't report every 3 years, there's an EIN that if you go 3 or more dead years, so I go 3 years in a row and I forget to file or file my 990, they're automatically going to revoke my EIN number. And then you're going to get a letter from the state, you're going to get a letter from the IRS that says you are no longer in good standing. At that time, you need to file the reinstatement or appointment of agent or reinstatement and appointment of agent online, and that's a $25 fee, and that must be reinstated. So to be in good standing, so you're doing donations, you're doing anything else, after 3 years, if you do not file again, they will call it a dead year, and they're going to kick your number out of the system. They'll hold it for another year until you do or you reinstate. And at the same time, if this club dissolves, there's a file certificate for dissolution, and you must file that. That's a $50 fee. And then at the end, your 501c3 must have that IRS language in the end that where does that money go or where does that money end up being? You cannot, as a 501c3, take that money and split it between the officers or anything like that. One of the things that we have in ours, and I'm going to pop up the OSBA real quick, and I'm going to go to the affiliate program. In ours, the IRS language at the end of this, and I'm going to pop this up for you. This should be at the end of every constitution or bylaws, depending on what your club has. Should the club vote to disband all general funds remaining after debts or debits and other accounts are settled will be donated to that money, this is just a sample, so it doesn't have to go to Black Swamp. It must go to another 501c3. So if you give it to a bee club, another garden club, another motorcycle club, whatever you are, and then all of these items below, you must follow these step by step. And then the dissolution form here must be filed that that club is done, that money is distributed, and then the IRS will kind of let you off the hook at that point. So the club Toronto went done, there's nobody left in it. The IRS code and the corresponding sections for future tax code. That's just that little paragraph, and you can customize it the way you need to fit yours. But if you do not have that in your 501c3, you are not officially, quote, in the Robert's Rules of Orders to be standing for good standing. So it's just we have most of the stuff right on the affiliate site. So if you go into the OSBA website, go over to resources, affiliate program, and you can scroll down and all that information that we've used thus far is right here. For the OSBA affiliates, we're going to run and have a Saturday class, maybe here in May. We're going to go through all those affiliates again and make sure that everybody's compliant. Everybody has that. We have the insurance that we're going to be putting out. All those letters are good. Everything is up to this point. So we're doing real well. Any questions, Carol or Rosanna? Roseanne. Anything about the Ohio Secretary of State? Any about the language? Or getting your EIN?
I've done that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got mine a long time ago.
Good. Thank you, Carol.
Mhm.
Roseanne, you're welcome to unmute.
Hi, we have our EIN already. And I don't have any questions right now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not a problem. If anybody, and especially the people that are here or anybody else online after they watch the recording, we'll have this posted on the video section. So if you go to OSBA Education, scroll down to videos. All the ones that we've recorded thus far is in 2025 education training. We have the one on graphics, technology, PowerPoint 1 and 2, graphics 1 and 2, Google Suites, how to use that with your organization and kind of make it easy so you're putting all your documents in one place. The next officers that come in take right on over. And this will be put in here also. So that video, give me about a few days to pop this up. That video will be in here. You can look it over. If you have any questions, send an email to president@ohiostatebeekeepers.org or treasurer@ohiostatebeekeepers.org, and William and I will be glad to walk you through step by step. I'm a tax pro and I own an H&R Block, and William's a CPA. So we know what we're talking about. We're glad to help you. And other than that, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. We'll turn around and get these online, and hopefully we helped educate just somebody else and trying to make things easy for the next upcoming treasurers and clubs. Thank you, Roseanne. Thank you, Carol, for coming.